Hello everyone. In this video we will see how important is education in your household. Welcome to the question answer channel. Thanks to Kip Wheeler, Feifei Wang, Azam Qureshi and Robert Hill for answering this question. We'll start with Kip Wheeler's first answer.
Extremely. We're a small household, husband and wife, but one of us has a Ph.D. in molecular biology and the other in medieval literature. We're both voracious readers, and one of us works in academia and the other freelances to do technical editing. We met in graduate school, and our lives have revolved heavily around our educations. I'd be digging ditches on a farm somewhere without a solid education. That sort of labor is honorable, but not the sort of work that makes me happy.
We continue with Feifei Wang's answer.
For my family, education is expected. It's one of those elitist things. Of course, you'll go to college. We're not savages. If you don't go to college, you might as well be illiterate since there really isn't a difference between the two, not for my family. Growing up, there was never a doubt in my mind that I would go to college. And there really isn't anything special about it. My family isn't happy with my going to art school since fine art is squarely at the bottom of the college major hierarchy. But I kind of redeemed myself by getting into grad school. And then, getting a second BA helped too. I didn't go to any of my graduation ceremonies. My parents didn't ask me about it or want to attend the graduation. We all saw it as a waste of time since graduating college and getting a degree is the bare minimum. There's nothing to be proud of or to celebrate. Now you can finally join the civilized conversation. Good for you. The college major hierarchy, for my family. Theoretical science, such as theoretical mathematics and physics. Medicine. Surgery on top, followed by specialized medicine, followed by general internal medicine, followed by psychiatry. Other applied science, engineering, statistics, computer science, pharmaceutical, etc. Law and finance. These two are about the same. So you either be a lawyer or an investment banker. Research-orientated humanities subjects. Sociology, psychology, history, archeology, philosophy. Basically, academia all the way. Commercial humanities subjects. Communication, business administration, public relations, education, teaching credentials, accounting, marketing, etc. Surprisingly, my family didn't think MBA was that big a deal. This is when the family starts to feel ashamed about your major and will try to make it sound more high-end. Commercial design, such as architecture and industrial design, also belongs to this tier. Literature of any kind, creative writing, comparative literature, English literature, Russian literature, world literature, etc. From this tier downwards, the family will avoid talking about your major altogether. Cultural studies, East Asian study, Japanese study, gender study. Fine art. I'm here. My dad never told anyone I studied fine art. Performance art, music, dancing, theater, etc. Okay people, chill the fuck down. You do realize I do not agree with this ranking, do you? Otherwise I wouldn't go for the major at the bottom. I'm listing it here because I thought it's fun. No need to get all defensive. Jesus.
The following answer is from Azam Qureshi.
My parents were economic migrants to the UK in the 1970s. Like most economic migrants from Asia, education was very important to them. I mean, when my dad found out that I had an offer from Oxford, he was so happy I saw him cry for the first time. Now, at Oxford, I met my French wife who also came from a family with a very strong education ethic. We have 3 kids, aged 9, 11, and 13. When we first had kids, I guess we were fairly Asian in our attitude to education. But 4 years ago, we pulled our kids from school to give homeschooling a try. And that encouraged us to challenge the system and think deeply about education. I realized, amongst other things, I wasn't educated. Having a degree from Oxford didn't make me educated. And that's because being educated is a state of mind, not a certificate. My views on education have undergone a paradigm shift. 4 years after pulling our kids from school, education is still damn important in our household, but certificates aren't. We find attitude, grit, ethics, leadership, the ability to adapt, the ability to think critically, the ability to self-teach, far more important than any certificate.
The following answer is from Robert Hill.
That's a very interesting question. I'm actually having a slight identity crisis at the moment as I look back on my own education and wonder what I came out of it with other than a career, obviously. There was some statistic on the news the other day that some significant percentage of the adult British public have math, numeracy skills lower than your average 9-year-old. It reminded me of how I had to ask my wife to show me how to do long division a few years ago because I couldn't remember how to do it. She showed me and I could then do it, until I forgot again. I mean, it's a pretty damning indictment of me, a 38-year-old man, that my maths ability is so poor that I don't even know how to balance equations. But I wonder why so little of my academic education really stayed with me. I followed the steps in the textbooks that allowed me to proceed to the next section as required by my teachers, but, for me, that was literally the whole thing. I never really internalized anything of any great importance. I am mostly devoid of factual knowledge about historical events, my brain swims when presented with the abstract questions of maths and physics, I don't remember any of the rules for how different chemical elements are comprised of different particles, I remember barely none of the past participles in French, etc. I would say the only thing that my education did give me was a reasonable ability to learn things off my own back. I could probably improve my ability in all the above things fairly swiftly now if I sat down and bothered to study them, and for critical thinking, well, debatable. Some would disagree. Perhaps all this is reflective of the fact that my mum never really put pressure on me academically, and so I never really prioritized it until I was an adult, where I did so because I wanted to learn. Maybe if my mum had forced me to really focus on education during my teenage years, I would be cleverer than I am now, and my Quora answers would be about useful or academically interesting things rather than the usual fart waffles I come out with. With my own children, I don't really know what to do. I don't want to pressurize them such that their education dominates everything and that they have no fun in their lives, but at the same time, I want them to be better academically than I was. Their mother is certainly much smarter than me, so hopefully they'll take after her, but obviously as their father I am going to have a big role to play. It's genuinely something I worry about.
The video is over. Thank you for staying until the end. You can now subscribe if you like the video more. Remember to also leave a like, it helps for the referencing on YouTube. Here is the end of the video. Leave a comment to tell us if these answers are more useful to you. See you soon.